Welcome back on this Thursday. Bob Kravitz is with us from The Athletic, as is Dustin Schutte from Saturday Tradition. Bob, the French Open going on right now. Dustin, you've moved locations. You said your dog was having anxiety.
Yeah, he was having anxiety, and we have one of those sliding barn door type doors that he's able to wiggle his nose in and nudge and annoy me during the radio show. So I went to a more secluded location, back to the closet.
Well, good thing it's not at Roland Garros, and you don't have to deal with withdrawing from the French Open. Saw another player withdraw yesterday, different reasons, but withdrawing from the French Open because you don't want to talk to the media. That's kind of getting out there, man. I mean, they're paid millions of dollars to do this stuff. I understand competing at a pro level of anything is a level of that most people don't understand. I get that, but you also see everybody else out there having fun or doing it how they want to do it. Marshawn Lynch said, "I'm going to do it this way," or you've got Eli or Peyton Mannings who do it their way. But right. It's just society. If you can't talk to a room full of media people, then I think you need to find a different vocation.
Well, I really do think that this is a one-off. I really do. I think I do believe that part of the job is talking to the media after your performance. I do think there's still room for the media to act as a conduit to the fans. I think if you have a bunch of athletes who don't talk to the media, they become like one-dimensional figures, and all you see is their performance. You never get to know them. That said, I think if you had asked the media, this giant monolith, the media, how they feel about her not talking this week because of some mental health issues, I think most of us would say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Take a week off. If it becomes a regular thing, that's problematic. But I don't think I think Roland Garros or the French Open folks were unnecessarily hard on her. If she doesn't want to talk to the media this week and she's having issues, I get it. Remember Marvin Harrison? Marvin hated talking to the media. At least in press conference situations, you'd surround him in his locker and his eyes would get real big and he'd say next to nothing. But when you talk to him one-on-one, he was fine. So I think we need to be really sensitive about mental health in general. We need to be sensitive about Naomi Osaka's mental health. I don't believe this is a Lynch type of deal where he's just kind of jacking the media. I really think she genuinely is in a bad place, and I think we should allow her to go her own way, at least in the short term, until she feels comfortable coming back.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all. My only question is, if you're in that bad of a place, how in the world can you stand out on center stage with thousands of people there watching your every move and millions more on television? I know that's easy to, as an athlete, you just get into the zone. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's better for her to bury herself in that.
Better for her. I mean, some people they find solace and comfort in performing and doing what they do best, doing what they've been trained to do. Some people, and I count myself among them at times through my life, have social anxiety, and it's hard. I can imagine that it's very difficult for a young person to stand in front of. To sit in front of all these people, and look, press conferences still serve a purpose. I've heard a lot of people say, well, why should they even talk to the media? Well, I think it's still important to have a relationship with the media because while you can control your narrative through Instagram and other things, I still think that we do act as something of a conduit between the athlete and the fans. But for one time, I'm really not bothered by it. If this opens a Pandora's box and suddenly every athlete's saying they have mental health issues and they'd rather not, then yeah, that's a problem. But I think we need to be sensitive about her situation, and we can survive without her for a week or two.
Yeah, Tim mentions NASCAR while the drivers talk to media so much, but part of that also is NASCAR is a sport that is still it's not a fringe sport, but it is not on the level. It's not on the level of the NFL and even this. I mean, where they still need that fan interaction. I mean, they lost a lot of fans. So,
Well,
yeah,
Billie Jean King made a good point that when they were just getting women's tennis off the ground, they sought out the media. They wanted media, and I still think that women's tennis is in that position, and women's sports in general, where it helps them to be very, very accessible. But again, I just reading, reading what she has said, I think she's in a bad place, and I think we need to be sensitive about that.
Well,
no doubt.
The thing to me is everything. I agree with you, Bob. I think that there's a gray area, but I think the reason we see these explosions happen out of something that otherwise wouldn't be a big deal is you see two sides. It's one side against the other side, and it's not always black and white. This is a unique situation. And so you have journalists defending their jobs, and then you have other people who don't understand the hard work that journalists and reporters put into this, and the benefits of having these type of press conferences, saying, well, why are we badgering all these professional athletes when we have constant exposure to them? So I feel like in a normal situation, this would be just a one-time thing. But because you have to seemingly take sides on Twitter or Instagram or whatever the social media outlet is, this is why it's become such a big deal.
Well, I think a lot of people love any situation where they can bash the media. And look, it's not the media who kicked her out of the French Open.
Right.
It's tennis, and it was Roland Garros in the French Open. They're the ones who booted her, basically. I mean, basically put her in a position where she had to decide either I'm going to talk to the media or I'm going to take the week off. So I don't have a problem with her expressing her power that way. Obviously, it's important enough for her and her mental well-being to not play rather than face the questions. Now, I worry about the poor young woman. I mean, she's been through stuff, and I hope she gets it together and she feels comfortable talking to the media. Yeah, are there stupid questions? Are there inappropriate questions? Absolutely, those have been chronicled. But by and large, as somebody who's been to a million press conferences, 99.9% of them are pretty rote, are pretty, we ask about the injury or what were you thinking on set point, yada, yada, yada. And it's not like we're diving deep into their psyche. We're not putting them on a couch and telling them to lay down and tell us their deepest, darkest thoughts.